howdy ho, hoy, all them things. Hi, let me be a hater for a second here. I'm Serene, and you're on Cal today, and you're about to get a story because let me be a hater for a second and tell you about this girl I know. We're going to call her Nadia Sin, which is a made-up name. And most people will not catch strays if I use this name. Will people catch strays anyway? Probably. But here's the thing. So I know this girl, and let me tell you something about her. So she is somebody that I have the pleasure of not knowing personally. This girl gives me trust issues and also makes me think, how in the world could this happen? So, backstory. The first time I've ever met a habitual liar, somebody that lies so egregiously and consistently and about stupid shit that it confuses me. I'm confused. I don't understand how these people's brains work. But there was this girl in my elementary school, earlier elementary school, and she told me that she was a vampire and that she's pregnant. And that whenever she comes to school, her baby bump hides because she's a vampire, duh. Okay, well, show me a picture of your baby. And so the next day, mind you, this is not how pregnancy works. She brings a picture of a small child, which to me looks like her as a kid. This girl is probably a better liar than than Nadia Sin. So if you say Nadia Sin, Nadia Sin, Nadia Sin, it sounds a little bit like not Asian. And if I were to give her the name Nadia Shin, Shin's a little too real of an Asian last name. And this girl does not deserve that. I'm aware that she's gone to middle school and high school in the place where I live. I become very shocked and surprised when I hear that this girl, who's grown up in my area for at least 7 years, probably more, has a talk that she's giving about how she's an international student who is Israeli Asian. And my jaw's on the floor. I'm aghast. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. My friend also is like, excuse me? And on the poster itself, we're already scandalized. We see that she claims that she's fluent in Yiddish, Hebrew, and the Asian language. And yes, she does specify a certain Asian language, but we're gonna hit pause on that, okay? So she claims that she's fluent in these languages. Now my friend, they were both on Be Real, and they had followed each other. I don't know how that app works because I don't use it, but it's where you take photos whenever it prompts you to, because you're supposed to be more real with Be Real. My friend regularly uses the same Asian language that Nadia says that she's fluent in. And guess what she does? She screenshots it. Sometimes she likes the thing, and then she screenshots it and translates it. So we think, allegedly. And my friend was being shady. She's like, this girl doesn't even know what the fuck I'm saying. And guess what? Nadia likes the post, screenshots it, somehow figures out what it says after the fact, takes back her like, because she knows that my friend was being shady. Okay, fast forward to a little more recent, and girl is doing her speech. And I try to attend. I cannot attend physically. I'm a busy lady, so I try to attend over Zoom meetings. And I get access to the meeting. My ass is gone. I'm like, woo! I was banned. I was banned from this meeting. And I'm like, genuinely, if this was genuine, if I believe this would authentically be an interesting speech that I would want to hear. Ooh, Israeli and Asian? That's so rare. That's so unusual. I would love to hear about your experience if you're telling the truth. And even if you're just Israeli, that could be interesting. And obviously my friend who knows her is not going to attend the meeting, because who knows, she might get kicked out. So instead we have a third friend, my third friend, who has a very white sounding name, because my name is very Asian sounding. So my friend who has a white sounding name goes into the Zoom meeting. She's able to access it, so it's not an issue of like not having a school email or anything like that. So she's able to access the meeting and she's able to watch it. So what she does is she gets on a video chat with myself and my friend who knows Nadia in person, and we watch it all together, us through our phones, video chatting with my friend who's able to actually get into the meeting. And we listen, mouths agape. We are stunned into silence at times. At other times, we are cackling. I went into the meeting thinking, she's not Asian. Everything I know about her, she's not Asian. She's made ridiculous claims in the past, like her cousin's training to be a geisha. Oh, and here's a picture, and it's a stock image woman who's like wearing a hanfu, like not even like a geisha attire. And so I go into the meeting being like, she's probably Israeli, like she looks like she could be, like she might be Ashkenazi Jewish, like where it's a bit more of a hereditary thing, like you're born into it and you continue the line of Jewishness. And then I leave the meeting thinking, I don't think she's Jewish. What would make me think that? So during the meeting, she talks about how her dad is the one that is part or fully, the story changes, Asian, and that her mother is Israeli. She also does this weird game where she's like, not all Israelis are Jews, haha, but she also specifically talks about how she was given a menorah for a birthday, that she had a bar mitzvah. Fun fact, bar mitzvahs are for guys. Women who are coming of age have a bat mitzvah, which she did, in her defense, have written correctly on her little PowerPoint. But you would think if you're fluent in the language and you're super familiar with the culture, you're not going to make mistakes like bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah. You're going to say bat mitzvah. She also claims that she wore a headscarf for a majority of her life, and especially during her high school years. I was like, oh, that's news to me. Because, honey, I'm older than you by a couple years, so she wasn't in the same grade as me. But I do have a parent who's a teacher, and I asked them, and they actually had Nadia as a student, and girl never wore a headscarf. So eyewitness says, no, you never wore a headscarf. My friend, who I know through language classes, who is either the same grade or a similar grade, did not remember her having a headscarf, did not remember her going to Russia during a certain era of her life that she claimed with my friend. So, knew she was a liar. I'm saying more lies. She has a PowerPoint where it has what years she was in which countries and what ages she was learning where. And she claims that she was in Asia for her elementary school, and then during middle school she was in Israel, and then in high school she was in the US. And I'm like, well, obviously that's a fucking lie, because I know where you went to middle school, and your dad is Asian. Let's see what her claims are. So she talked about how she had to honor her father, and I'm sorry, but like, as an Asian person, I don't talk about honoring my parents. She also claimed that she got a traditional piece of clothing from her dad. It was like some cheap ass Amazon.com outfit. I was like, are you kidding me? And then she didn't even understand what was even on her outfit. She was like, yeah, it had stormy clouds on it, which is like my stormy eyes. Those are literally flowers. There is no storm. So you don't even understand Asian symbolism. You don't understand what you're wearing. Your evidence isn't even very good evidence. You have no pictures of your family in Asia. You have no pictures of yourself in Asia. No pictures in Israel. You don't have any real evidence. And what had me absolutely gagged was when she was talking about how some people will try and make me prove that I'm Asian. But just ask anybody in the office where I work, which is on campus. I always have chopsticks with me in my office. You're telling me that the thing that makes you Asian is your fucking ability to use chopsticks? And not even ability, but just having chopsticks on you? Oh, because if so, then a lot of people who aren't Asian are now Asian. I'm sorry. I didn't understand. That's how that worked. Am I not Asian then when I don't use chopsticks? And then she also was talking about how, going from Asia in elementary school to then going to Israel, she literally had panic attacks using a fork and a knife. Speechless. Except I wasn't. I was cackling. We were cackling. My friends and I, we were all cackling. We were being haters. How are you going to claim that you get anxiety from using utensils? I'm sorry, but even in Asia, they have forks. They have spoons. They have knives. This is not something unusual. It feels like authors, when they're not bilingual, and then they write a bilingual character, and the examples that they give are stereotypical. They just don't make sense to somebody who is bilingual. Like, when I think of other languages, when I'm thinking in other languages, if I forget a word, I'm not going to switch to English, because English is basically my native language. And if I go, oh, I forget a word in English, I just forget the word. In my other languages, I'll go to a different foreign language that I know. Your experience is that of somebody who has never had that experience. Now, I get that people are different, and people's experiences are different even if they have the same background. But these are not those kinds of differences in experiences. Like, if I were to talk about my identities, I'd talk about these motherfuckers and how these give me a lot of legitimacy in both of my identities. Having these legitimizes how I feel inside by a lot. It's just amazing to see somebody who's like out there lying this much. And not only did they talk about how they were getting a scholarship specifically, and how the talk that she gave is actually like a part of the requirement for getting that scholarship, but the fact that she got it, the fact the university is platforming this person to tell lies, and not only are they telling lies, but they're giving legitimacy to it. So this girl, Nadia, she can just talk about this and talk about this experience and how she's talked about her identities, which, as far as I'm concerned, are both fake, allegedly. I'm just amazed how people live their lives like this. And, of course, my friends and I, after, the thing closes a little bit early, her questions, she starts getting super nervous. She answers somebody who speaks in the language that she claims she's fluent in, the Asian language, as, thank you. See, I used an honorific. That's what we do in Asia. And she didn't actually use the honorific in the language. Why do people choose to do this? I don't understand. My leading theory coming out of that talk was that she is such a boring person, and she has such low self-esteem in her identity. She can't pick anything that's legitimate about herself that's worth like being proud of, which there could definitely be stuff in there, but I'm hard pressed to find it for her because I don't like her. I'm a hater, certified hater, yes sir. And I only assume it's because she has low self-esteem and that she's hung on to these identities as something to be proud of, as something to make her special or unique. And I cannot, honey. I can't believe the university supported this woman and like did not do even like 5 seconds of research. So, hey, please do your research. Please do just that little bit of efforts to verify the person you're platforming is who they say they are. And then second, after we do a little bit of sleuthing, We do a little bit of searching. We find her parents' Facebooks. And her mom is as white as they come. It shows her birthplace. Her birthplace is in USA. No shit, Sherlock. And then she also has a post that's like, I kneel before the cross, brother. I kneel before it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The cross isn't very Jewish to me. And we find her dad's Facebook. And lo and behold, he was born in Alabama. And he served in the military. Oh. And guess where he served? In Israel and in Asia. Well, color me surprised. Girl has daddy issues. No fucking duh. Also found some of her old Pinterest boards, which, she is super into Asian things. She even has created a ship name of herself and one of the international students, who is the Asian identity that she's trying to adopt. She also has a Pinterest board that's Easter recipes, which, in my opinion, is the most Christian and the least Jewish holiday that you could celebrate. Now, I could be wrong. However, these are big fucking red flags. And to me, it's also no coincidence that she dyed her hair black just before the event in order to have a picture with her black hair for the promo stuff. This girl to me does not look Asian. She looks as white as they come. Her evidence has fallen on deaf ears. Claiming herself as an international student is wild because she's also on, certain lists, and it says whether or not she's an international student, which she is considered a domestic U.S. student. Take that 5 seconds, okay? Because otherwise you get crazy batshit people like this, and they don't get stopped, and then they end up going into Congress, and they ended up being powerful people who, should not. They just should not. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you got mad as I did. Because this is ridiculous. I don't think people like this should be allowed to live their lives peacefully. I think there needs to be consequences. And the only consequence that I've heard of is that she had to leave a leadership position in one of her clubs that she was in for Asian caucus or something like that. But regardless, it's not enough. She needs to face academic punishment. She needs to have her scholarship taken away. And I think she should be shunned by society. Burned at the stake. I'm kidding. But I do think some more severe repercussions, please. Is that too much to ask for? God. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little story time. This is my, I don't know how many times recording it because there's just too much to say. Thank you. And I'll see you again. Maybe it'll take a while because I don't know that I have too many ideas. I have too many and not enough at the same time, which of course is just par for the course. Anyway, bye.